Hey, what's up with it, y'all? Welcome to my podcast, Cold Narratives. I'm your host, Iceberg Green. About to let y'all hear some of these cold narratives. Check it out. What's up with Iceberg Green in the building? It has happened. I'm here to report on it. I'm here to give my take on it and to change this narrative. Okay, so today, my take on this is interesting. So they always, one thing I hear a lot about, people say that we need to have people in higher power and bigger positions to make moves and make things happen for Black people. Now, check this out. We've had this caucus together since 1971. And over those years, there's been a bunch of killings, police brutality, laws and policies put in place that have always undermined us for over 40 years. These people have been in office for about that, trying to make changes, so they say. So why is it that in 2, maybe 4 years after the murder of George Floyd that we get all this movement and all this push toward reparations, and here they come? See, you've had multiple opportunities to make this right and to do things out of all the time you've been in the Congress, and they've done nothing. So when I hear people talking about, oh, we need people with power in better places to make change, these people been in power. They've been in power for over 40 years, speaking on behalf of Black people, saying that they're going to make change and things better for us, and they have not. So that's why I'm confused about, and I don't believe in all this propaganda that they throwing these people in our face. They fighting for votes. This immigration stuff, they fighting for votes. Everything now is a grab bag, and they trying to use us as their scapegoat again. No, that's not happening this time. So we got to pay attention and stay on code. So these people represent 78 million Americans and 17 million Black people. Black Americans. We ain't gonna say African American. We ain't gonna say people of color. We ain't gonna say minorities. We gonna say Black Americans, foundational Black Americans. That's the term we gonna use. It's lineage based, y'all. We got to keep putting this in context. So these people have been in position of power to change these things for the 17 million Black people that have been affected by all these systematic laws and oppression. They've had over 40 years to change this. And you telling me now all of a sudden that this movement is going on, and since the midterms is coming up, this election coming up, that this is not a trick bag, that they're trying to get on board and win our votes? Man, make your vote count, man. Don't just give your vote to somebody that's going to get up there and talk. Congressional Black talkers, they don't care about us, man. So we got to speak for ourselves, stand up for ourselves, and make sure that our presence is felt, so they can understand what we really want. And it ain't just no program. It ain't just no housing voucher. It ain't none of that. It's that check. We need that money to level this playing field. So some people might get mad at this, but I'm going to keep it real. Based on just my analogy and what I've been reading so far, this caucus is filled with a bunch of bootlicks that don't have Black people best interests in mind. They have programs for Black people and African Americans and people of color and minorities. That could be everybody. We talking about Black people. What do you have for us? Which we want that check. See, they trying to run from that check and level the playing field with Black people. Okay, so this is from Fox News. They love shaming Black people. This is an opportunity now for them to bring up all the people that want to speak against us actually leveling this playing field. So this is this guy right here, Brewer, whatever. This a bootleg. Here go this bootleg. Check it out.
They call me an Uncle Tom. They'd call me names. And for that, I don't care, because, our kids need spirituality again. A God-fearing person would not sit up there and demand for $1 million checks. A God-fearing person would demand for righteousness to be instilled back in the children. They'd be able to see our kids in the streets mass murdering each other.
Okay, excuse me. His name is Jack Brewer. Okay, just to clarify, that's his name.
You got a bunch of people standing up asking for $1 million checks. It's absolutely insane to me. Let's fix our problems, our cultural issues that start with spirituality. You should be fighting to put the 10 Commandments back in school.
So this guy actually used the 10 Commandments. Are you serious? You guys are all gonna burn downstairs. Man, this is about to be a rodeo, the clown show, man. And it's just the beginning, y'all.
Nobody care about that. Don't nobody real care about that. We care about our reparations. And we have to put white people on notice that we want our reparations. That our foreparents and us, we didn't work for free and underpaid and all this nonsense. And the white folks get away with it. And they talk about the great city they're building. No, we want our reparations. $3 million per person. $3 million per person right here in this city. That's the only thing Black people got to care about. All this other little nonsense y'all talk about, we do not care about.
Hey, now this brother right here, he made a point. He got straight to the point. All that other stuff y'all talking, it don't even matter, because y'all been talking that for 40 some odd years. it ain't made a difference. Right now, what we need is that check. Ain't nothing else to talk about. And he said it. Steve said it, man. He said it so clear. I couldn't have said it no better. And that's where we stand, man. And that's where your vote needs to stand, on that right there. Okay, so they've been in dealing with this since 1971, I believe. They've had this Congressional Black Caucus, Congressional Black Caucus. But what it sounds like to me, everything that I read about here is not about black people. It's about everybody. It's not just about, for them to be considered themselves the Congressional Black Caucus. It's not the Congressional People of Color Caucus. It's a Congressional Black Caucus, meaning that you definitely should have black people as your main priority. The Congressional Black Caucus should be black people's go-to, and they should have black people as a major priority. So basically, they represent 17 million of us, and which is 41% of the African American population. Let me bring y'all up to speed. So the Senator Cori Bush, she came out the closet and started talking about reparations and how we need it and all this stuff. She's part of the Black Caucus. And at the end of all that, she was talking about, they didn't mention no check, none of that. They mentioned programs and stuff. Then she gonna say, make sure to mention HR 40, which was a program designed to keep us entrapped, and policies and laws and programs. That's what HR 40 was. And that's what they still want to push, man. So watch the trick bag. But check this out.
Africans. Just yesterday, Representative Cori Bush, a Democrat from Missouri, came on the Capitol steps there as they unveiled Reparations Now, a resolution that urges the federal government to take action to compensate the descendants of slaves. The measure is meant to bring attention back to H.R. 40, the slow-moving federal bill that has been introduced to Congress each term since 1989 and would create a commission to examine the issue.
Okay, so I could spend all day talking about all these congressional talkers, but I'm going to focus on California, which would bring me to Barbara Lee, this lady, Sidney Kamlager, Dove, and Maxine Waters. They're Democrats out of California, and Maxine's been serving since 1991. Kamlager been serving since 2023, and Barbara Lee since 1998. So in California, you guys, how much have we been faced with since 1991? Since Maxine Waters started this in California. So what has really changed since 1991? Just think about this, y'all. We're about to get these people our vote in California. What has actually changed? And I'm just keeping it real. What has she done, Maxine Waters? What have you actually done in my community besides? I'm going to tell you what she's done. When you go in your community, you see them bike lanes look clean. They perfect. They look freshly painted. But when you go through the hood and you see the streets, how they are not paved. When you go to the schools, you see how they tore down. When you go to these buildings and they all run down, it's because that's where the money went. Maxine Waters and Kamlager and Barbara Lee, that's where our money went. Our taxpayers' dollars went to making these bike lanes and all these different, the money y'all sending elsewhere. Y'all got the money, man. Stop playing. It's going to take me a minute to really dive into each one of these congressional talkers. It's so many of them. So if you in whatever state you in, just think about it. What has any of these people actually done in your community and the changes that you've seen since they've been serving for the Black talkers? Just, I want you to think about that. Think about your city, your state, what they have actually done to change the financial gap, the economic value gap of Black people. What have they actually done in the community that you see? And you'll see, like, okay, Maxine Waters really made that happen in California. My people are not in poverty as much as they was 20 years ago since she's been in office. No, we cannot say that. We've actually gotten worse. And I'm sure you can say that in your state. So just pay attention, y'all, before y'all give y'all vote to these people and they get up here and start talking all this trick bag weasel word stuff, and y'all start falling for it and giving y'all vote. Then you look up 4 years from now, you're like, wait a minute, I thought I voted for that. They're like, yeah, you did, but it ain't gonna happen. This was the game we played. You feel me? Y'all ain't got on it yet. I'm telling you, this is about to happen again. So get ready. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I also want to say God bless those going through the struggle. And make sure you watch out for them cold narratives that the government trying to push on us, y'all. To all my Black people, I will be nothing without y'all. God bless you all.